Hello and welcome to the Toshogu Podcast, where we break down the latest news, breakthroughs, and ideas shaping the future of artificial intelligence. Today, we're looking at a major shift happening in enterprise AI, where the focus is moving entirely away from just asking which model is best, to this new obsession with controlled agency. We're talking about how systems can actually operate safely, access the right data, and produce measurable outcomes. Let's begin.
It really is a fascinating pivot, honestly,
Right.
because we spent the last few years completely mesmerized by the sheer intelligence of these models.
Oh, absolutely. The conversational abilities, the reasoning scores.
Exactly, but the biggest hurdle to actually putting them into production has always been trust.
Yeah.
Companies are realizing that having a brilliant system is, well, it's entirely useless if you can't trust it to act autonomously within your network.
I mean, if it hallucinates a command and deletes your customer database, its high reasoning score doesn't really matter.
Spot on. It's a massive liability.
Okay, let's unpack this, because what we are seeing now is essentially deploying AI to police AI.
Which sounds completely wild.
It does. Like Microsoft just announced something called Project Perception, which is entering public preview on August 3.
Yeah, the multi-agent defense system.
Right, they call it a closed-loop system. It's designed to continuously perceive, reason, and act across a company's entire digital landscape.
And the architecture of this is what makes it so unique. It's not just one massive, monolithic AI trying to do everything at once.
To coordinate specialized agents, right?
Exactly. Think of it as a digital security team. You have red team agents, and their entire job is to constantly hunt for attack paths.
Like actively trying to break in.
Yes, searching for vulnerabilities. Then you have blue team agents investigating the risks those red agents find.
So they prioritize them based on severity.
Exactly. And finally, you have green team agents that they actually step in to take corrective action and patch the holes.
Plus, it uses a multi-model architecture. So it's actively choosing which underlying model to use based on the required quality, the latency needed, and the cost.
Which is incredibly efficient.
Yeah.
You don't need your most expensive, heavy-duty reasoning model just to parse a basic log file.
Right.
You use a smaller, faster model for the repetitive scanning, and you only escalate to the heavy hitter when the blue team agent finds something highly complex.
I hear you on the efficiency, but I mean, I have to play devil's advocate here.
Correct.
Wait, we are deploying autonomous AI agents to fight and fix issues in our networks.
Without human intervention.
Right. Doesn't an army of red, blue, and green agents running around autonomously sound like a recipe for absolute chaos?
It sounds terrifying.
I mean, what if the green agent decides the most efficient way to fix a vulnerability is to just shut down the company's entire payment gateway?
What's fascinating here is that the industry is incredibly aware of that exact fear. You are hitting on the precise reason why enterprise adoption has been stalled.
Okay, so how are they fixing it?
You can see how they are answering that fear by looking at what AWS is doing right now. They just launched a new Security Hub MCP app in preview.
MCP. What is that?
It stands for Model Context Protocol. Think of it as a standardized language that allows an AI model to safely ask a secure system for information.
Okay, got it.
So this new app brings security findings directly into Claude Desktop, allowing users to investigate attack paths using natural language.
Oh, wow.
But here is the critical detail, and it addresses your fear of the green agent shutting down the payment gateway. These tools are strictly read-only.
Read-only. So it can look, but it can't touch.
Exactly.
But isn't that just kicking the can down the road? I mean, eventually, to have true autonomous agency, they have to execute changes, right?
Eventually, yes. But cybersecurity is becoming the first enterprise arena where multi-agent systems can prove measurable risk reduction without taking execution risks.
So it's about proving value first.
Right. Proving value through investigation, retrieval, and providing recommendations is the necessary first step.
Yeah.
You have to build that baseline of trust.
Makes sense.
You use a read-only interface using the human user's existing credentials to prove the AI knows exactly what it's talking about. You let it diagnose the patient 1,000 times perfectly before you hand it the scalpel.
That makes a lot of sense. You don't hand over the steering wheel until you've watched the AI successfully navigate the simulator in read-only mode for months.
Spot on.
But even with read-only guardrails, having 3 different specialized AI agents communicating across the network, That requires immense visibility.
Huge visibility.
It feels like this kind of agent security cannot just be a single vendor feature. Like if Microsoft builds the agents, but you use Amazon's cloud and CrowdStrike's endpoint security, how do they all talk to each other without tripping alarms?
Like, it cannot function in silos, and the industry knows this, which is why we are seeing a massive shift in how these historically cutthroat competitors are allying with one another. NVIDIA just spearheaded the formation of the Open Secure AI Alliance.
And the roster of founding members is a who's who of enterprise tech. We are talking Microsoft, IBM, Cisco.
As CrowdStrike, Palantir, Snowflake, SpaceXAI, it's massive.
Just to name a few. Why would competitors of this scale suddenly decide to hold hands and share their security secrets?
Because the threat landscape of agentic AI is too big for one company to monopolize. If we connect this to the bigger picture, what we are witnessing is the standardization of security.
The new baseline.
Exactly. Open identity, isolation protocols, logging, and evaluation standards, these are becoming the new cloud security baseline.
Right.
Governance is no longer just a boring policy document that sits in a drawer in the compliance office. It's moving into the runtime layer. It's becoming a hard-coded product feature.
I mean, think about it like this. You wouldn't let a brilliant new employee loose in your company without an ID badge and an audit trail.
Right. You need to know where they go.
Exactly. We are finally building the ID badges and security cameras for AI.
And alongside that alliance, NVIDIA released something called the NOOA Research Framework.
NOOA, okay. What does that do?
It's a tool designed to help developers test, trace, and audit agent harnesses much more easily.
Tracing and auditing.
Those are the magic words. When you have an AI agent taking a multi-step action, you need a breadcrumb trail.
Right, you need to see exactly which documents it read, which APIs it called, and what logic it used to arrive at that conclusion.
Exactly. And SpaceXAI made a huge move within this alliance, too.
Oh, yeah, the open sourcing move.
Right. They announced they are open sourcing their Grok build coding agent, and they actually plan to open source the Grok model weights as well.
Which is wild.
It forces the entire industry to accelerate. By open sourcing the agent and the weights, they are democratizing the very tools needed to build these autonomous systems.
So security frameworks like NOOA have to mature instantly just to keep up.
Exactly. But here is the friction point. Having all these agents monitoring each other, evaluating massive amounts of security data in real time, logging every single action across open frameworks, it creates a massive bottleneck.
Right, because of the hardware.
Yes. The software security is entirely useless if the hardware cannot process the telemetry fast enough.
The compute and cloud foundations powering these secure agents, we often get so caught up in the software layer, the models themselves, that we completely forget about the massive physical data centers humming in the background.
The physical infrastructure is everything right now.
And we are seeing a land grab for it. NVIDIA just made a highly strategic investment in Safe Superintelligence, or SSI.
Yes, and as part of this partnership, NVIDIA is committing access to their Vera Rubin systems.
Okay, so for those not deep in the semiconductor world, what exactly is a Vera Rubin system?
It's NVIDIA's next-generation architecture, succeeding the Blackwell platform.
Got it.
It is designed specifically to handle the massive memory bandwidth and processing bottlenecks that arise when you are running these highly complex, multi-agent reasoning systems.
And according to the announcements, this gives SSI an order of magnitude increase in compute.
Which doesn't just mean a little faster. An order of magnitude means doing computational math 10 times larger, or 10 times faster than before. It is a complete paradigm shift for frontier research.
But wait, NVIDIA is an infrastructure company?
Yeah.
SSI is an AI research company. This isn't just a standard hardware purchase order where they buy some chips and plug them in, is it?
Not at all. Compute is no longer just procurement. It is a strategic partnership.
How so?
Well, NVIDIA isn't just selling chips to SSI and walking away. They are gaining early visibility into the absolute bleeding edge of frontier research.
Oh, so they can see what SSI is trying to do mathematically.
Exactly. By understanding exactly what these highly advanced systems are trying to achieve today, NVIDIA gets to shape the architecture of the silicon they will manufacture tomorrow.
Wow, they're securing long-term feedback loops.
Yes, defining the future of the infrastructure itself.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And speaking of that infrastructure prerequisite, there was another major development that caught my eye, but it's from a totally different sector.
Oh.
Yeah. NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, just selected Google Cloud as the primary high-performance computing provider for their operational weather supercomputing.
Wow. moving from traditional on-premises physical infrastructure to a cloud-first operation.
Exactly. Now, why should we care about weather supercomputers in a conversation about AI?
Right, it seems unconnected.
But it's not. Because high-trust, mission-critical public workloads moving to the cloud proves a larger point. You cannot have advanced AI without first modernizing your infrastructure to a cloud-first foundation.
That is so true.
You can't just staple a cutting-edge autonomous AI agent onto a legacy on-prem server from 2012 and expect it to work.
Precisely. The adoption of advanced analytics and agentic AI follows infrastructure modernization. It does not happen separately from it. For organizations, especially in the public sector or regulated industries like weather forecasting, AI is really the final layer of a very controlled operating architecture.
Because you need the elastic compute of the cloud foundation first.
Right, so that when your AI suddenly needs a spike in processing power to analyze a hurricane model, the hardware can dynamically scale to meet it.
Okay, but here is the terrifying part.
Uh-oh.
Even if you have unlimited Vera Rubin compute, and you have modernized your entire cloud infrastructure, and you have read-only security agents monitoring the network, these AI systems are still incredibly dangerous if the data they're accessing is messy.
Or if they have too much access to things they shouldn't see.
Exactly. This is where data governance in the agent stack becomes critical.
Because a brilliant agent acting on bad data will just make terrible decisions at lightning speed.
Yes, which brings us to some massive updates in how data is governed at the structural level. Amazon Neptune just added tag-based access control for IAM.
Okay, let's break this down for a second. IAM stands for Identity and Access Management.
Right, it's essentially the digital bouncer that checks your ID before letting you into a server.
And Neptune is a graph database. To clarify for everyone, graph databases are different from your standard spreadsheets with rows and columns. They map relationships.
Like knowledge graphs.
Exactly. The things that give AI agents their context and allow them to understand how a user is connected to a purchase, which is connected to a specific product category.
Historically, managing access to that complex web of relationships has been really difficult.
Very difficult.
But with this new tag-based access control, organizations can restrict an agent's access to specific graph clusters based on project, team, or environment tags. Here's where it gets really interesting. It's like giving an AI agent a VIP pass to specific rooms in a building rather than the master key to the entire skyscraper.
That's a great analogy.
It prevents lateral data exposure. If a marketing AI agent gets compromised, it only has the tag to see marketing data. It cannot suddenly wander into the finance database and start reading employee payroll information.
This raises an important question, though.
Okay, what's that?
What happens when an agent acts on bad data? Even if it's in the right room with the right VIP pass, what if the information inside that room is deeply flawed?
Oh man, that is the nightmare scenario.
Right. Your AI is completely secure, it's highly intelligent, it's restricted to the marketing data, but the marketing data has been corrupted by a broken pipeline.
And now the AI is recommending millions of dollars in ad spend based on a glitch.
Exactly. And it is exactly why AWS Glue Data Quality just added machine learning-based anomaly detection.
To catch the glitches.
Yes. It identifies unexpected changes in table statistics, and it writes that quality history back to the data catalog.
Oh, it's smart.
Plus, AWS Glue added a distribution analyzer,
Which creates histograms and value distributions to spot broken pipelines or outliers, right?
Exactly. And let's make sure we understand that. A histogram is basically a visual representation of how data is distributed.
Think of it like a visual heartbeat monitor for your data pipelines.
That's it, exactly. It graphs what normal data looks like. So if a column of numbers suddenly spikes because a sensor broke, or if customer behavior shifts drastically and the data starts drifting,
The machine learning spots the visual outlier in the histogram immediately.
so the system spots the anomaly before the AI acts on it.
It's a monitoring layer that tracks the health of the source data itself, rather than just waiting to see if the output of the AI model looks weird.
Because dynamic access boundaries and anomaly detection are the only ways to prevent these agents from making high-speed automated decisions based on drifting or broken data pipelines.
You have to mathematically prove the context was accurate the millisecond before the AI read it.
If you want true autonomy, yes.
Okay, so we've covered the multi-agent security, the open alliance ecosystems, the underlying hardware compute, and the strict data governance.
It's a lot of heavy, highly technical infrastructure.
It really is.
Yeah.
But how is this governed, secure, data-rich AI actually changing the daily workflow for normal people, especially for smaller teams who don't have massive IT departments to manage all this?
Well, we finally have some hard data on that exact question thanks to new research from OpenAI.
Oh, the ChatGPT user study.
Yeah, they analyzed over 800,000 messages from U.S. ChatGPT users, and they discovered a massive systemic trend in the workplace that they are calling task crossover.
Task crossover, meaning people are doing jobs completely outside their official title.
Exactly. They found that 16.8% of work-related messages and a massive 43.5% of occupation-specific messages involve tasks associated with a completely different occupation.
Wait, almost half.
Yes.
43.5% of the time, someone using AI for a specific work task is doing a job that belongs to a different profession.
It is staggering, and they found this effect is highest in fields like customer experience, design, HR, legal, and marketing.
Wow.
Even more critically, this task crossover is heavily concentrated in smaller workspaces,
Like how small?
specifically those under 100 seats.
So what does this all mean? It completely changes the narrative around AI in the workplace.
How so?
For a long time, the fear, and frankly the sales pitch from a lot of vendors, was headcount replacement.
Right, that AI was just going to automate jobs away.
Exactly, and companies would shrink. But this data shows the real value proposition, especially for small and medium businesses, is capability expansion.
Absolutely. If you are running a smaller organization, this directly impacts you.
Yeah.
One person on your team can now perform work that historically required a handoff to a specialized, entirely separate department.
Like a founder with no financial background, producing a highly professional market brief and financial model.
Or a single salesperson running complex data analytics on customer trends without waiting 2 weeks for the data science team.
Or a boutique design agency with 5 employees drafting their own complex legal contracts without needing an expensive corporate lawyer on retainer.
Exactly. Small businesses are suddenly operating with the capabilities of giant enterprises.
They aren't firing people, they are giving the people they already have access to professional superpowers they simply didn't have before.
And because of everything we discussed earlier, the agentic security like project perception, the read-only guardrails from AWS, the tag-based access in Neptune, these small teams can adopt these expanded capabilities safely.
Right. They don't need a massive IT team.
They do not need a 50-person IT department to manage the risk because the governance and the security are becoming built into the products themselves. The guardrails are invisible to the user.
It really paints an incredible picture of where we are heading. And it raises a profound question about the future of business itself.
Yeah, it really does.
Imagine the near future where a small 5-person startup has the internal capability of a Fortune 500 company thanks to task crossover. And that entire expanded capability is autonomously protected in the background by an army of red, blue, and green AI security agents.
Just silently patching vulnerabilities and monitoring data drift.
Exactly. The barriers to entry for building massive things have truly never been lower. That's all for today's episode of the Toshogu Podcast. If you enjoyed it, like this episode, subscribe, and join us next time for the latest in AI. Until then, keep building what outlives you.